Good morning, students. As we have discussed in last online session, we have discussed about the forces. We have discussed about the push force, interaction of forces, and then we have concluded the direction of forces. Either it is rightward, then you have to take the force positive. Either it is upward, then you have to take the force positive. If it is forward, then you have to take the force as positive, and if it is leftward, downward or backward, such forces you have to take negatives. So after that we have discussed about the state of a motion. So we have concluded the two states, that is one is in motion with some velocity and another is in motion with zero velocity, that is a rest post, that is also known as a steady state. So today we will start with the topic 11.5, which is force can change the shape of an object. Suppose you are applying a force. Let us see an activity. So activity 11.5 says that some situations have been given which objects are not free to move. Suppose there is one situation in that objects cannot move. Column 2 of the table suggests that the manner in which a force can be applied on each object, while column 3 shows a diagram of an action. So let us see the column first. Here you can see the table. In table you have seen description of a situation. One situation is given where an object is completely fixed. The second is how to apply a force. You have to apply force tangentially, perpendicular or parallel to something. Third is diagram, and fourth is action of force, change in state of motion or change in a shape you have to mention. So initially we will start with a lump of a dough on a plate. Have you ever made a chapati? What you are doing, you are pushing atta into a thing so that it will bind, and after that you can make a chapati. So pressing it down, where you are pressing it down with your hands as shown in the figure. So here change in state of motion is there? No, you will say there is no change of state of motion because atta is not running away from your plate, because you are non cooking or you are not a chef. It is there only, but what it does, it changes its shape from atta to a dough. Yes or no? Okay. So here state of change of motion is not there. So what we are doing, there is no state of change of motion. And another thing, change in shape is there. Of course change in shape is there. After that you are cooking gunda and then you are making a chapati. Yes or no? Okay. So we will move toward the second situation, which is spreading a fix to the seat of a bicycle by sitting on the seat. Have you seen old time bicycles? Yes. In old time bicycles, what is that? There are seats. The seats which are available now, it is not the same seat. That seat, the older seat has spring below the seats. As you can see, there is a spring. There are 2 to 3 springs which is given below the seat. So when you are sitting on a seat of a cycle, then such spring will expand and give you cushioning effect. Yes or no? So here again there is a change of state of motion of a seat. Seat is running away from somewhere? No. Seat is there only, but what happens when you sit on a seat of a bicycle, then there is a change of shape of a spring. Initially the spring was compressed, and after you sit on the seat, that spring will expand. Yes or no? Okay. So there is a change in state of a motion? No. There is a change in a shape? Yes. So the third example, a rubber band suspended from a hook nail fixed on a wall. Suppose on a wall you have a nail that is already fixed, and what you have to do, you have to wind a rubber and you have to pull it. So in such cases, there is a change in a shape? Yes. There is a change of state of motion? No. Why? Because rubber is not going away. But suppose in a classroom, you are pulling a rubber and hitting your friend. In that case, what you are doing, you are releasing rubber to your friend. In that case, change of state of motion is also there and change of shape is also there. So that is very interesting concept to know. Fourth objective is a plastic or metal scale placed between two bricks. What you have to do? Between two benches you have to make a steel scale. On that steel scale put some weights. So that weight will elongate the scale and it will make like a dhanush. Yes or no? So what it does it change state of motion? No, scale is not going anywhere. It is not going from point A to point B. It is there only. But what happens? Change in shape is there. Yes or no? Okay. So change in shape. All the examples you have seen here, they do not have change in state of motion. Instead, they have change in a shape. So can we say a force can either change the state of motion, as we have discussed earlier? If the ball is moving, you can stop it by applying a force. Yes or no? So a force can either change in state of motion. If it does not change in state of motion, then it will change in shape. So a force can do two things for sure. One, either it will change the state of motion. Second, either it will change in shape. Yes or no? So these are the 4 points we have discussed. Moving on the next slide. So what do you conclude from the observation noted in table 11.2? What happens when you apply a force on an inflated balloon by pressing it between your palms? Here one more example they have given. Suppose you have a balloon in your hand and that balloon is in a spherical shape. So when you are pushing that balloon, the spherical shape of a balloon will change into oval. Yes or no? Balloon is moving somewhere? No. Balloon is not moving from point A to point B. So we can say that state of motion is not there. The second thing, the spherical shape of a balloon now changes to oval shape like a anda. That shape, this change of shape is been occurred due to force applied on a balloon between your palms. Yes or no? Okay. Now we will move to the second point. What happens to the shape of a ball duff when it is rolled to make a chapati? When you are making a chapati, you have seen that. So when you are making a chapati, you are taking a duff and that duff you are putting on a plate and you are rolling it. So after rolling it, you are changing its duff shape from a chapati shape. Yes or no? Either I can say a dish shape. So then what you are doing, after applying a force, there is no change in motion. Chapati is not running away from your plate. But what happens, it is changing its shape from a duff to a circular. Yes or no? So here again, force is not changing its motion. Force is changing its shape. Yes or no? Very good. Now, third point. What happens when you press a rubber ball placed on a table? Suppose there is a rubber ball and you are pressing it over a table. So what happens, that ball changes its spherical shape into a oval shape. Yes or no? If you press much harder, then it will break or it will scattered into something. Yes or no? Okay. In all these examples, you saw that the application of force on an object may change its shape. So whenever you are applying a force, there are not necessarily it will change its motion, but it is also possible that an object may change its shape. Yes or no? Okay. So having performed all the above activities, you would have to realize that after performing all this activity, after seeing all this activity, you will come into conclusion that a force may make an object move from rest. Suppose an object is at rest position, after applying a force, it will start moving, as we have seen in a previous example of pushing a car. After applying a force, you are moving a steady car to some velocity. Yes or no? Okay. A force may change the speed of an object if it's moving. If something is moving very fast and you are stopping it, like a bicycle, you are riding a bicycle, and when you are applying the force, brake force, then the cycle will reduce its velocity and comes to a rest position. So force may change the speed of an object. You can increase the speed by applying force also, and you can reduce the speed by applying force also. A force may change the direction of motion of an object. Suppose a ball comes to you, let me say you are a batsman. So when you are hitting a ball, what you are doing, you are changing the ball's direction from bowler to yourself to boundary of a field. Yes or no? So what you are doing, you are changing the direction of ball from one place to another place. So a force can change the direction of object also. A force may bring about a change in the shape of an object, as we have discussed of balloon and everything, chapati and duck. A force may cause some or all of this effect. It is not necessary that a force will do only one work. A force can change direction at the same time. A force can change the speed at the same time, and a force can do change in the shape at the same time. All this phenomenon can occur at one instant also. That tremendous capacity of force do have. Yes or no? If you want to feel the experience, then play a football. While you are playing a football, all this activity happens at once. When you are kicking a ball, you are changing its direction also, changing the shape of the ball also, and changing its speed also. So all this phenomenon are not necessarily happens one by one. All this phenomenon can occur simultaneously. Okay. So we will move to the next slide. While a force may cause one or more these effects, it is important to remember that none of these actions can take place without the action of a force. Either some of the people will tell you, without applying a force I have changed the direction. Without application of force I have changed the speed. Without application of force I have changed the shape. So that thing is not technically correct, or I can say that thing is not physically correct. That person is lying. Why? Because without application of force, none of such effect is possible. If there is some effect, that means, however, a force has been applied. So, thus an object cannot move by itself, an object cannot generate self-energy, cannot change speed by itself, cannot change direction by itself, cannot change its shape by itself. Okay, so we will move in the next slide. Okay, so now we will move to the next point, that is 11.6 in your textbook, contact forces. So here we will discuss two types of contact forces. One is muscular force and one is friction force. So you will ask, sir, what is a contact type forces? So contact type forces are that in which you have to make a physical contact to change its direction, speed, or an shape of an object. So such forces in which you have to physically touch it or physically push it, without interaction there is no possibility to transfer a force. Such forces are known as contact forces. So here we will discuss two types of forces. First is muscular force and second is friction force. So when you are rubbing your hand against each other, you will feel heat. That heat is because of a friction. That we will discuss one by one. So let us say, what is a muscular force? Can you push or lift a book lying on a table without touching it? So if you are a magician, you are raising a book now. So you are not magician, so it is not possible for you to take a book which is been put on a table without touching it. No, we cannot. The second question is, can you lift a bucket of water without holding it? No, there is no such possibility is there. Here, don't be And smart like that, sir, we are taking a bucket by a rope, or picking a book by a scale. Because when you are using a rope or when you are using a scale, what you are doing, you are interacting with your hand with a scale and scale with a book. There is physical contact between these two. When you are pulling a bucket from with the use of a rope, what you are doing, you are pulling a rope with your hand is connected with a rope and rope is connected with the bucket. So here also physical contact is there. So don't be over smart with the hands type of stuff, sir. We are not using our hands, we are using scales and other things, but that is a physical contact. You are making means by which you are doing a work. So that is not a possibility. So generally, to apply a force on an object, your body has to be in contact with the object. Yes or no? When you are applying a force, there is must be a contact to transfer a force. The contact may also be with the help of a stick or a piece of a rope. You can use a stick also, you can use a rope also. When we push an object like a school bag or lift a bucket of water, where does the force come from? This force is caused by the action of muscles in our body. So when you are doing some work, when you are hitting something or when you are pulling something, what do you use? You are using your muscles. That force is generated by your body. Yes or no? By means of a glucose that you have studied in a biology very well. So such force which is generated by a muscles, like wrenching or twisting, that force comes from your body, from a muscle. So such force are known as a muscular force. The force resulting due to the action of muscles, the force resulting due to the action of muscles is known as a muscular force. So now we will move to the next slide. So here are some more examples of muscular force. Animals also make use of a muscular force to carry out their physical activities and other tasks. Animals like bullocks, horse, donkeys, camels are used to perform various tasks for us. In performing this task, they use muscular force. The animals can perform a muscular force is comparatively very high when you are comparing that force with a human force. You cannot carry out such load with your shoulders, no, because you do not have that much of muscular power. Elephant has a great muscular power that it can break trees in a jungle. Why? Because it can generate a lot of muscular force. You are not capable to generate such muscular force. The bodybuilders are up to some extent they can generate muscular force, but when we are comparing it with the animals, we are very behind in the terms of a muscular force. Since muscular force can be applied only when it is contact with the object, it is also known as a contact forces. Muscular forces are only possible after the contact with the object, otherwise it is not possible. So that muscular force comes under the category of a contact forces. Are there other type of contact forces? Let us find out. So one muscular force we have already discussed. Now we will discuss about the friction. A ball rolling along the ground gradually slows down and finally comes to rest. So when you are playing a cricket, when your batsman hits a boundary, that ball comes slowly towards you. Initially when a batsman hits a boundary, that ball has a high speed, but when it reaches to you, it gradually reduces the speed. Yes or no? Or after some time, if you are not applying your hand force also, the ball will stop. Yes or no? Yes. Why this ball stops? If there is no such forces, without application of force, there is no chance to stop a movement of an object, then how a ball which is hit by a batsman stops after some time? Why? Because a ball continuously makes a contact with the ground of a pitch, so that when it rolls, on a ground, it loses its contacts between a ball and a ground. So ball and a ground, there is one surface. That surface applies a force against a ball. That is how a ball reduces its speed and comes to a rest position. So the contact force between a ball and a ground is known as a friction. There is not necessary you always have to rub to get a friction. Friction is everywhere whenever there is a contact. If there is a contact, there is a friction. If there is a no contact, there is a no friction. Likewise, in a space, moon is orbiting earth without contacting it, so it does not feel any friction between them. So in a space, one object is moving with some velocity, it keeps on moving, it will never stop. Why? Because in space there is no velocity, there is no friction. Whenever there is a contact, there is a friction. Wherever there is a no contact, there is no friction. Okay, so friction is a contact type of force. Okay. So ball rolling along the ground gradually slows down and finally comes to rest. You have understood? A bicycle, when we stop pedaling, it gradually slows down and finally comes to a stop. Why? Because of a friction between a road and a bicycle. Okay. A car or a scooter also comes to rest once its engine is switched off. Again, a friction between tires and a road. Fourth, a boat comes to rest if we stop it rowing it. So when you are rowing a boat, rowing means when you are pedaling a boat. When you are rowing a boat, if you stop rowing, the boat will move to some extent and then it will stop. Why? Because there is a friction between water surface and a boat surface is there. Okay? Next. In all this situation, no force appears to be acting on the objects, yet their speed gradually decreases and they come to rest after some time. The force responsible for changing the state of the motion of an object. All this example of the force of a friction. Such force which is gradually reduces the speed of an object. That force which is responsible to reduce the speed, such force is known as a friction. Friction is unlikely force in engineering. Why? Because your slippers gets worn out, your machinery gets worn out because of friction. If friction is not there, that is also a trouble. If friction is not there, you are not able to walk. If friction is not there, you are not able to brake your vehicle. So accident will be there. There are so many problems. So friction is advantageous also, as well as it is unlikely, it is unwanted also. The force of friction always acts on the moving object and its direction is always opposite to the direction of motion. So where friction occurs, if suppose you are driving a bicycle, you are riding a bicycle in the rightwards, then friction will be definitely leftwards. It is opposite to the motion. If you are moving frontwards, then friction will be backwards. If you are flying upwards, then friction will be downwards. In the same way, if you are going downwards, friction will be upwards. So friction is always opposite to the direction of motion, you have to remember. Okay, moving on to the next slide. 11.7 non-contact forces. So for today 11.6 until 11.6 it is enough. So in next online session we will start with non-contact forces. So if you have any doubt in the previous slides or previous online session, you can comment it below. As soon as I will see it, I will clarify your doubts. Okay, so we will start in next online session from 11.7 non-contact forces. Okay, till then, thank you.